Hello friend, this is your host. Welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are well and doing great. So today I'm back with another video to give review on three books, which are three of them all about the romantic stories. So which three books we are going to see today? So let's start with the first one, which is Nightshade, a dark academia romance of revenge and forbidden love by Autumn Woods. Introduction. Autumn Woods' Nightshade has quickly established itself as one of the most talked about new entries in the dark academia and romance crossover space. Released in 2025, the novel gained traction through BookTok and Bookstagram communities. Celebrated for its Gothic atmosphere, enemies to lovers dynamic, and its seamless blending of mystery with romance. At its heart, Nightshade is both a revenge tale and a forbidden love story. Set within the moody walls of Sorrowsong University in the Scottish Highlands, a place dripping with secrets, shadows, and the weight of history. While dark academia as a genre often leans toward philosophical musings, obsession with knowledge, and tragic beauty, Autumn Woods injects a highly emotional and romantic core into that tradition. In doing so, she creates a narrative that appeals to two overlapping audiences: those drawn to the intellectual and gothic atmosphere of the setting, and those who crave the intense yearning and emotional drama of romance fiction. Plot summary. The protagonist, Ophelia Winters, arrives at Sorrowsong University on a scholarship, carrying a heart full of secrets and a mind sharpened by grief. She believes that her parents' deaths were not accidental, and she pins responsibility on the ruthless billionaire Cain Green. Her mission is clear: uncover the truth and exact revenge. But her path collides with Alex Corbeau-Green, the enigmatic son of her enemy. Alex is not just a romantic foil, but a symbol of everything Ophelia should hate: wealth, privilege, and the bloodline she blames for her pain. Yet, as the story unfolds, he becomes both her torment and her salvation. What begins as suspicion and hatred morphs into a dangerous attraction. Their relationship is defined by witty banter simmering chemistry, and a battle between loyalty to one's past and irresistible pull of love. Meanwhile, Sorrowsong itself functions almost as a character, a Gothic campus filled with hidden passages, shadowy professors, and an atmosphere where betrayal seems inevitable. What begins Sorrowsong itself functions almost as a character, a Gothic campus filled with hidden passages, shadowy professors, and an atmosphere where betrayal seems inevitable. The novel ends on a cliffhanger, setting the stage for Book 2 of the Duet. Woods crafts this ending to maximize emotional investment. Readers are left breathless, desperate for the continuation. Character analysis. Ophelia Winters. Ophelia is one of the novel's strongest elements. She is a heroine shaped by trauma but not defined solely by it. Her grief drives her, but her intelligence, resistance, resilience, and sharp wit make her compelling. Unlike many romance heroines who fall too quickly for the enemy, Ophelia resists Alex with believable force. Her moral conflict, revenge versus forgiveness, justice versus love, anchors the narrative. Alex Corbeau-Green. Alex is the quintessential brooding male lead. He is dark, complex, and full of contradictions. While his wealth and family ties mark him as a symbol of privilege, his inner life his inner life reveals vulnerability and depth. His loyalty to Ophelia despite the shadows of the family's past makes him both readers often describe him as the kind of hero who lingers in the imagination long after the book ends. Secondary characters, though less prominent, fellow students, faculty members, and Sorrowsong's mysterious figures contribute significantly to the dark academia ambience. Each interaction reminds us that Sorrowsong is not merely a setting but a labyrinth of secrets. Themes: revenge and justice. Revenge is the novel's heart, beating heart. Ophelia's mission gives the book momentum, but Woods complicates the trope by forcing her protagonist to confront the human cost of vengeance. Forbidden love. The romance is not simply a subplot, it is central to the novel's tension. The forbidden element heightens the stakes, making every glance and whispered conversation feel electric. Dark academia and the search for truth. Like the best works in the genre, Nightshade explores the obsession with knowledge and hidden truth. Sorrowsong University is portrayed as a place where learning secrecy and corruption intertwine, identity and inheritance. Identity and inheritance. Through both Ophelia and Alex, Woods raises questions about the weight of family legacies. Can we ever escape the sins of our fathers? Can love rewrite destiny? Atmosphere and setting. One of the Wood's greatest strengths lies in her atmospheric world building. One of Wood's greatest strengths lies in her atmospheric world building. Sorrowsong University is cloaked in mist, ivy, and shadow. The Scottish Highlands add an extra layer of Gothic mystique with weather and landscape mirroring the characters' inner turmoil. The atmosphere is so vividly rendered that readers often feel they are wandering those corridors themselves. This sensory immersion is a hallmark of dark academia, and Woods delivers it with precision. Writing style. Wood's prose is both lyrical and accessible. She balances Gothic descriptions with snappy, emotionally charged dialogue. Some passages feel almost cinematic, while others are intimate and row. The pacing, however, has drawn mixed responses. Slow burn build up, savoring every moment of Ophelia and Alex's reluctant connection. Others find the narrative occasionally meandering with predictable beats. Still, the overall style is well suited to its genre, blending romantic melodrama with Gothic sophistication. Reception. Since its release, Nightshade has exploded across BookTok and Bookstagram. Readers describe it as fun, devastatingly atmospheric, a book that makes you want to underline every line. Strengths: atmosphere, richly Gothic and immersive. Romantic chemistry. The tension between Ophelia and Alex is electric. Complex protagonist. Ophelia is strong, vulnerable, and relatable. Emotional pull. Cliffhanger ensures emotional investment. Final verdict. Nightshade is a compulsively readable blend of Gothic ambience, searing romance, and mystery. Autumn Woods has crafted a book that is both escapist and emotionally resonant. While not flawless, its strengths far outweigh its weakness. If you are drawn to stories of forbidden love, dark secrets, and atmospheric settings, this novel will keep you turning pages into the night. Just be prepared. When you reach the end, you will be desperate for the sequel. So, the next book which we're going to see today is The Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Introduction. Ali Hazelwood's rise to prominence in contemporary romance has been meteoric. Beginning with the love hypothesis, her brand became synonymous with STEM heroines, witty banter, and slow burn love stories. Readers flock to not only for Sony romance but for the way Hazelwood infused modern women and science with relatable quirks, insecurities, and ambitions. When Hazelwood announced Pride in 2024, fans were startled. This was not another science driven rom com, but a paranormal romance. A genre steeped in vampires, werewolves, and supernatural politics. The title something unexpected, a paranormal romance that feels contemporary in tone, deeply character driven, and refreshingly self aware. At its center is a story of duty, revenge, mistrust, and forbidden love. Classic paranormal tropes. Yet Hazelwood Yet Hazelwood filters these elements through her signature humor and vulnerability. The result is a novel that satisfied long term paranormal fans while being approachable to those who may have never read beyond contemporary romance. Hazelwood balances romance and mystery in Bright to give a full sense of its depth. Let's trace the story arc in detail. Act the arrangement. The novel opens with Misery Lark, a vampire who has chosen to distance himself from vampire society and live among humans. Misery has built a quiet life away from the manipulations of her kind. But this peace is shattered when she is called back into service. Her assignment: marry Lowe Moreland, alpha of the Northern Werewolf Pack. This marriage is meant to solidify a fragile truce between vampires and werewolves. Misery has long at odds due to centuries of mistrust and violence. Misery does not enter this union willingly. She harbors a secret motive: her closest friend has disappeared, and Misery suspects the vampire elite no more than they are admitting. By marrying into the werewolf pack, she gains proximity and leverage to investigate. Act 2: Collision of Enemies. Upon her arrival in the werewolf stronghold, Misery is greeted with hostility and suspicion. To the wolves, she is the enemy, cold, aristocratic, untrustworthy. Lowe himself embodies these doubts. As Alpha, he shoulders the responsibility of protecting his people, and a vampire pride feels like a dangerous liability. Misery and Lowe clash instantly. Their exchanges drip with sarcasm, barbs, and underlying attraction. Hazelwood thrives in this dynamic, turning hostility into chemistry. Slowly, the reader begins to see moments of care beneath the antagonism. Slowly, readers begins to see moments of care beneath the antagonism. Lowe protecting Misery from danger, Misery defending herself with wit rather than submission. Act 3, Growing Trust. The marriage of convenience evolves. Misery, despite her reluctance, begins to observe the pact's culture and values. When vampires thrive on hierarchy and politics, wolves are communal, loyal, and protective. Lowe, once only an adversary, re- reveals himself to be gentle, patient, and devoted to his people. The turning point comes as Misery realizes that Lowe's strength does not come from dominance but from a deep sense of responsibility. The mutual distrust begins to erode. Lowe acknowledges Misery's intelligence and independence. Misery admits that Lowe is not the brute she feared. Act 4, Secrets and Betrayals. Parallel to the romance, the mystery of Misery's missing friend intensifies. Clues suggest corruption and betrayal within vampire ranks. Loyalties fracture and Misery finds herself torn between worlds. Clues suggest corruption and betrayal within vampire ranks. Loyalties fracture and Misery finds herself torn between worlds, her vampire heritage and her growing bond with the pack. Tensions between vampires and werewolves threaten to unravel the truce. Misery's secret motives are exposed, testing her fragile relationship with Lou. Can trust survive deceit? Act 5, Climax and Resolution. The climax intertwines both the romance and the political stakes. Misery must decide whether to pursue vengeance or forge a new path with Louis. Betrayals are unreeled, lances shift, and danger strikes at the heart of both vampire and wolf societies. Hazelwood concludes Hazelwood concludes with romantic lawyers, Misery and Lowe from forced allies to chosen partners, but leaves enough unanswered threads for potential sequels. Chapter by chapter commentary. While Hazelwood does not divide the novel into explicit parts, the pacing allows us to trace the gradual evolution of both plot and romance. Exposition. Misery's reluctant return to vampire society sets the tone of defiance and cynicism. Inciting incident. The arranged marriage proposal introduces the central conflict. Initial encounters. Misery and Lowe's first exchanges highlight hostility laced with humor. Immersion into pack life. Misery experiences the werewolf household, seeing loyalty in action. Subplots of suspicion. Misery begins subtle investigations into her missing friend. Turning point, a moment of shared danger forces Lowe and Misery into cooperation. Trust building. Small acts of care deepen their emotional connection. Betrayal revealed. Secrets about vampires, true motives emerge, straining the couple. Climax. External threats test their fragile bond, political stakes peak. Resolution. Misery and Lowe choose each other, balancing duty and desire. Deep character analysis. Misery Lark. Misery is one of Hazelwood's most complex heroines. Unlike her stamp leads, who were often awkward but warm, Misery is hardened, cynical, and emotionally withdrawn. Her name itself is symbolic. She wears her disillusionment like armor. Yet beneath this armor lies fierce loyalty. Her determination to uncover the truth about her missing friend drives her arc. Hazelwood balances her acidity with vulnerability, making her growth into trust and love both believable and satisfying. Lowe Moreland. As Alpha, Lowe embodies physical power and command, but Hazelwood subverts the alpha male stereotype by making him emotionally intelligent and deeply respectful. Lowe in essence the ideal paranormal hero, strong but tender. commanding yet compassionate. His arc is one of learning to risk personal vulnerability for love. Writing style. Hazelwood's trademarks shine sarcastic humor, Misery's wit undercuts tension, providing levity. Dialogue-centric romance. Chemistry is conveyed through banter and subtle acts. Emotion overload. Hazelwood privileges character psychology over world mechanics. The style may feel too modern for readers expecting Gothic prose, but Hazelwood's contemporary voice is her strength. Strengths: sharp witty heroine, complex, respectful alpha hero, electric romantic chemistry, balance of humor and vulnerability, accessible paranormal world. Conclusion. Pride represents a daring shift in early Hazelwood's career, a move from STEM-centered rom-coms to paranormal romance. Far from being a gimmick, the transition proves Hazelwood's versatility. The novel succeeds not because of its supernatural trappings. The novel succeeds not because of its supernatural trappings, but because Hazelwood remains true to her greatest strengths, crafting romance that feels human, tender, and emotionally honest. Misery in Lowe's journey from enemies to lovers is not just about supernatural politics, but about trust, vulnerability, and chosen love. For long-time Hazelwood fans, Bride is for both familiar and new. The banter launching are here, but the stakes are heightened by supernatural danger. For paranormal romance readers, it is a refreshing take that tempers Gothic intensity with humor. The next or the last book which we're going to see today in this video is The Fall With Me by Becca Mack. Introduction. Becca Mack has quickly carved out a name for herself in the contemporary romance world, especially with her Playing for Keeps series. Her novels mix slow burn tension, emotional vulnerability, and deeply authentic love stories, often centered around professional hockey players who find loves in unexpected ways. Fall With Me, one of the most beloved entries, exemplifies Mac's signature style, a character-driven, emotionally raw romance that balances humor and angst with powerful explanations of trauma. Healing and intimacy. Unlike many sports romances that lean heavily on tropes, Fall With Me feels lived in and layered with characters who are messy, real, and unforgettable. At its heart, this is a story of brain colliding with second chances. A novel that explores what it means to love someone. A novel that explores what it means to love someone when you when your world feels shattered, and how falling in love can be both terrifying and redemptive. Full plot summary, spoilers included. Setup: the novel introduces us to Connor, a professional hockey player whose outward charisma masks deep insecurity and loneliness, and Reese, a heroine carrying grief whose outward guilt after devastating personal losses. Reese has built protective walls around herself, keeping her distance from anything that might make her vulnerable again. Their worlds collide in a way that feels serendipitous yet fraught. Reese is wary of Connor's reputation as a player, both on the ice and in love, while Connor is captivated by her honesty and resilience. Early tension. At first, their relationship is antagonistic. Reese don't trust him, and Connor is both frustrated and intrigued by her resistance. Becca Mack uses this fiction to build slow burn chemistry, long looks, snappy banter, accidental touches that linger too long. Meanwhile, Vee's grief continues to weigh her down. Her past is never far from her mind, and her reluctance to let anyone in creates natural conflict. The shift. Gradually, Connor proves himself to be more than the shallow stereotype she imagines. It's steady, patient, and laced with genuine care. He helps Reese laugh again, encourages her to rediscover joy, and slowly chips away at harmor. This is where Mac excels. The romance develops through small, meaningful moments, not grand gestures. Shared meals, late night conversations, act of kindness, each one builds trust. Rising conflict. But healing isn't linear. Reese struggles with guilt over allowing herself to love again, fearing she's betraying her past. Connor, for all his charm, wrestles with self-doubt and the weight of living up to her needs. External pressures, family expectations, public scrutiny as a professional athlete, and Reese's internal battle with grief threaten to undo their progress. Climax. Emotional climax comes when Reese's fear of losing someone again nearly pushes her to retreat completely. Connor, vulnerable, himself must decide whether to give up or stand firm. In one of the most poignant sequences, he lays himself bare, not with bravado, but with raw honesty, showing her that love isn't about raising pain, but about carrying it together. Resolution. The novel resolves with Reese finally allowing herself to trust in Connor, except that moving forward doesn't mean forgetting her past. Their relationship isn't presented as perfect, but as a real, messy, complicated, and deeply worth fighting for. Character analysis. Reads strengths, fierce, compassionate, resilient despite trauma. Flaws, fearful of intimacy, self sabotaging tendencies, guilt ridden. Arc, learns that doesn't mean forgetting, and vulnerability doesn't mean weakness. Connor, strengths, loyal, charming, deeply caring, bequeathed his confident exterior. Flaws, reputation as a player, insecurity, masked by bravado. Arc, transforms from a surface level flirt to a partner capable of true vulnerability and devotion. Supporting characters. Marks playing for Keeves universe thrives on its ensemble cast. Ensemble cast, side characters, teammates, family members, and humor, support, and context. They remind us that love doesn't exist in a vacuum, it's part of a wider community. Themes: grief and healing. Ree's journey shows that love doesn't erase pain but provides strength to carry it. Trust and vulnerability. Both leads learn that intimacy requires risk. Identity versus reputation. Connor struggles against public perceptions to reveal his true self. Conclusion. Fall with Me by Becca Mack isn't just a romance, it's a meditation on loss, vulnerability, and terrifying beauty of loving again. Through Reese and Connor, Mack crafts a story that feels both heart wrenching and hopeful. For readers who want a romance that makes them laugh, cry, and believe in second chances. This book delivers in full. It's slow, it's emotional, and it's unforgettable. So this is all we have from this book, from this video. I hope you guys like 3 of the books, but which one do you like the most? Tell me in the comment section. I'll be back with another videos with another books. Till then, just take care and goodbye.